I had a pretty uneventful childhood, really. I mean, I went to like a Church of England school, and we occasionally went to church here and there, but it's sort of in the background. As a teenager, I had depression and anxiety, and that I felt like a bit of a passenger in my own body. So you're sort of watching the world go by. I was working for Sainsbury's. I just finished uni, and the person I was working with, who is now the manager of the community grocery over in Ragworth, he was leaving around Christmas time to go and set that up and get involved, and he'd relentlessly told me about it very enthusiastically.
Probably God put it on my heart to ask him to come and volunteer with us, because I knew he was feeling a bit lost and a bit down about the situation he was in with the work that he was doing. So I just reached out to him really and asked him to come and volunteer with us.
He invited me to come along, and I'd said no so many times, and then as I continued working there, every time he would come collect a donation and be like, you should come along, and I made so many excuses. I said no in every way possible. I made up I was going on holiday. I said I'd come once and then make more excuses. I went once, and then I arrived and they were like, we're doing the rota for next week, when are you going to be here? So I was like, oh, maybe one more time. And then slowly it went from once every 2 weeks to once a week to twice a week, 3 times. I got to a point where I was like spending all my free time there.
He really started to come alive. We were praying for him and involving him in conversations and talking to him about God and all the rest of it.
I saw people actively living out the faith, guys serving in the grocery, serving on the Eden team that was there. You know, it was interesting coming from, I was working in retail and then going to sort of a retail environment, and the way that people were being treated was like the polar opposite. Before I left working in supermarket, we were told like, you can't stop and talk to people, you've got to keep working. But then I'd go there and there'd be people who we'd be working with and get alongside who, you know, that may be the only adult conversation they're having in the day, that may be the only place that they're being genuinely heard. And so seeing that was huge. I agreed to do the Alpha course, but it turned a lot of assumptions on its head. It was a very open environment. There's no stupid questions. You can say whatever you like. You would get an answer, and a sincere answer, and just sort of similar to seeing the faith lived out, hearing more aspects of it than just sort of the codified religion aspect of faith was an eye-opener. One day I had like a midlife crisis, early midlife crisis hopefully. My work's enabling a lot of the mental health problems. I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to go there and I'm going to fix the world, and you know, I'll fix poverty, feed everyone, it'll be great, all in my own strength. I arrived at the grocery to be like, guys, I've quit my job. And Andy, he was sat very studiously at his laptop. He's like, I've just had this email to say that we might have the chance to be able to employ people on this programme to come and work here. At that point, you got to start asking questions really, don't you? Everyone like pounced, and it's like, well, where do you think that came from then? I was like, just a coincidence, obviously. It's like, I wouldn't be so sure. I was hiding from making a decision, and I'd been sent a great message from someone who disciples me now, and all that. It was like, you've seen all this stuff, you've got to decide. I think you need to finally get off the fence. I was really fighting with it, and I was sort of ignoring it really and trying to not think about it, so I quite enjoy reading. I'm going to hide by reading a book and distract myself from it, and I picked this book off the shelf completely at random in my room, and I opened it, and on the first page it just said John 12:24. I was like, oh, leave me alone. It says, truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone, but if it dies, it bears much fruit. You're going to carry on as you are and deny all of this stuff in front of you, or you can let your old self die and see what fruit that bears. And I was like, I remember sitting there in bed, like, not sleeping tonight. And I really didn't. I was like, maybe I have a point. I went to church the next day. I was like, yeah, let's do this. It's opened up this whole world of being able to serve, really. Testament to God's sense of humour that I was so miserable working in a shop, and it's like, now you're going to get all your joy out of it. This particular ministry has been like, you know, it's my own Damascus moment where serving in that place has changed my life so much. It's a great challenge. It's something kind of like countercultural, it feels like, that we're doing, to be able to journey long term alongside people and to give a bit of a glimpse of who God is through us. He doesn't need us to do that, but that he would choose to do that's mad, and to be a little part of doing that is genuinely a massive privilege.